All right, good afternoon. We've got a new tornado warning. This is going to be just north of Bryan College Station in the Brazos Valley. This is going to be a little tiny tornado warning for a little sliver of Grimes and Brazos County. This was made after a storm spotter reported a funnel cloud in the vicinity of Wixon Valley a few minutes ago. This tornado warning does not include Bryan. This does not include College Station. This is for a small sliver of Brazos and Grimes County, from Wixon Valley to Curtin there on Highway 21 northeast of Bryan. So again, this is going to be a very small, short duration tornado warning. This is for a possible spin-up tornado near Wixon Valley moving southeast at about 40 miles an hour. Now, by far, I think this is going to be a situation where we may have a spin-up, but we also have extremely strong straight-line winds being indicated over Bryan College Station right now. This is going to be a line of severe storms capable of producing damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour. The potential for quarter to golf ball size hail. And all this extends from near Wixon Valley to College Station to Caldwell to Lexington, back to Bastrop, to Mustang Ridge, to Kyle, all the way back to just near Wimberley, west of Interstate 35, in the northern portions of Bexar County, northwest of New Braunfels, near Spring Branch, back to Bernie and Boulevard, Timberwood Park, Gray Forest. And then we've got this tail end Charlie thunderstorm, which is much more potent in the hail department. This is going to be near Pipe Creek, moving southeast towards northern sides of San Antonio. That could have golf ball size hail or a bit larger. We also notice a couple thunderstorms popping up in the Edwards Plateau from near Pearsall back southwest to Crystal City and Carrizo Springs. Those thunderstorms are generally moving east at about 20 miles an hour, 20 to 30 miles an hour, the potential for quarter to golf ball size hail. Like I said earlier, we are not expecting many tornado warnings this evening, but a spin-up tornado can't be ruled out. These thunderstorms moving east-southeast at about 30 to 40 miles an hour. Again, the potential for 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, maybe some pocket change size hail, and damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour, pocket change size hail, heavy rain, and maybe the potential for a spin-up tornado. With this storm near Bryan College Station, specifically the tornadic portion, which is northeast of Bryan College Station, we're not getting a super good look at the low levels, but yeah, there might be a spin-up circulation here, but frankly, I'm more concerned about this damaging wind signature moving through Bryan College Station right now. Radar indicating winds could be over 60 to 70 miles an hour. It's enough to cause power outages. Could also have some pocket change size hail. So again, it's pouring and storming in Bryan College Station right now. We could have winds 60 to 70 miles an hour. The potential for some nickel to quarter size hail. And then there is the potential for a spin-up tornado near Curtin, near Wixon Valley, and that's going to be moving off east-southeast. This tornado warning doesn't include any portion of Bryan or College Station. If for some reason this continues, it's going to move towards Lola, which is there off north of Carlos, I believe. That's going to be off FM 244. So again, most of these storms today are going to be capable of strong winds, pocket change size hail, heavy rainfall that could cause some flash flooding. And again, this line as a whole is moving east-southeast at about 30 to occasionally 40 miles an hour. Further north, you can see we have a couple of showers and storms in eastern North Texas, east of the Metroplex. Those, as a whole, are behaving themselves. There may be some small hail at times, maybe pocket change size hail, and some gusty winds and heavy rain, but those are behaving. This storm that's out by itself, just east of Mount Calm, approaching Coolidge, has a very potent hail signature on radar. That's moving right towards Mahia, Forest Glade, on Highway 14. So those of you in Mahia are about to get hail, and it could be some pretty big hail, probably falling in Coolidge right now. Again, the potential for golf ball size hail moving down towards Mahia. And again, that's a supercell out by itself, but nothing tornadic at this point, just a lot of hail, strong winds, and that storm's moving east-southeast at about 25 miles an hour towards Mahia. This warning also includes Fort Parker State Park, Mount Calm, Fallon, Shiloh, and Prairie Hill. Looking back south, for what it's worth, we have more storms in the Metroplex, but again, that's going to be off on through the evening. The potential for some small hail with that. Line of storms capable of producing 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. Pocket change size hail, generally like nickel to quarters. Heavy rainfall, and can't rule out a spin-up tornado at times. From this line from near Bryan College Station to Caldwell to Bastrop now to Kyle, just northwest of New Braunfels to Bernie. And all that is moving southeast, east-southeast, at about 35 miles an hour. So those of you in San Antonio, y'all are going to be getting in on the storm action here in the next hour. The potential for very heavy rainfall, hail, and damaging straight-line winds, especially if this thunderstorm south of Bernie continues to be rambunctious in the hail department and move east-southeast. Further southwest, these storms from near Pearsall to Carrizo Springs, capable of producing golf ball to maybe tennis ball size hail at times, and they are generally moving off to the east at about 20 miles an hour. Reason we're back here with live coverage is we've had a short duration tornado warning issued for a circulation that was located near Wixon Valley about 10 minutes ago. Still showing indication that we could have some very strong winds. Radar showing winds aloft at about 95 miles an hour, but the key word there is aloft. We're looking, according to this, we're looking at about 5,000 feet above the ground. So winds 95 miles an hour, 5,000 feet above the ground, probably going to be closer to 60 to 70 miles an hour down at the surface. Still certainly enough to knock down some trees and power lines and cause wind damage, but hopefully we're not getting that kind of a wind event down at the surface, or we're going to have a lot more than trees and power lines knocked down. In terms of the storms back southwest near Bastrop, again, potential for 50 to 60 mile an hour winds, quarter-size hail as these storms move southeast at 25 to 30 miles an hour, all the way back to Kyle, Mustang Ridge, San Marcos, Wimberley, back southwest towards areas just northwest of New Braunfels, so Canyon Lake, Spring Branch, Bernie, Fair Oaks Ranch, Dominion, back to Pipe Creek, and then a pretty good little hail core over Pipe Creek right now. That's generally moving towards Gray Forest and Hollywood Park. There may be golf ball size hail with that particular hail core there. So we're going to have to watch that carefully as it moves towards the north sides of San Antonio, and then back southwest again from near Pearsall all the way to Crystal City, Carrizo Springs, the potential for a few storms with golf ball size hail, very heavy rainfall, damaging winds. So we head north back into the DFW Metroplex. First off, severe supercell capable of producing golf ball to perhaps tennis ball size hail over Coolidge right now. This thunderstorm is moving east-southeast at about 25 miles an hour towards Mahia. And it'll be getting into Mahia probably by about 6:25 or so as that storm moves southeast. Across the Metroplex, we have scattered showers and a few storms moving off to the east-northeast at about 30 to 40 miles an hour. A little bit of a hail core northeast of Wills Point coming up towards Emory with that pulsy thunderstorm. This activity generally along and north of Interstate 20 is behaving itself for the most part. Maybe some nickel, at times quarter-size hail, heavy rainfall that could cause some street flooding, ponding on roadways, gusty winds, but overall the severe weather threat north of Interstate 20 is lower than that south of Interstate 20, but still enough in the way of instability and wind shear aloft to support the chance for some hail, plenty of wind, and the potential for some street flooding. I'm just keeping an eye on some of these storms. Again, we're here for a short duration tornado warning across portions of eastern Brazos and northwestern Grimes County in the Brazos Valley. This is going to be a thunderstorm that had the potential of producing a spin-up tornado. And there's still indications we could have very strong straight-line winds now around Wixon Valley and Kern moving east towards Lola and Carlos there on FM. I'm seeing County Road 164 and FM 264 or 244, excuse me. And again, this specific section of the squall line is moving east-southeast at about 40 miles an hour. And again, about 5,000 feet above the ground, we're seeing winds of 90 to 100 miles an hour, which probably translates closer to about 70 miles an hour, hopefully, by the time you get down to the surface. Could also have some nickel to quarter size hail with this thunderstorm. I don't think they're going to extend the tornado warning with this at this point. But again, the potential for brief spin-up tornadoes will continue with this line, in addition to more widespread damaging winds and pocket change size hail. The exception to the hail rule is going to be the storm northwest of Mahia near Coolidge, moving towards Mahia. That storm could have golf ball size hail, maybe larger. This thunderstorm near Gray Forest, just north of Jalitos, moving towards the north sides of San Antonio, Leon Valley, Olms Park, Hollywood Park, that could have golf ball size hail, perhaps larger as well, in addition to the potential for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So again, we're going to have to watch these storms carefully, and I don't expect too many tornado warnings tonight, but the potential will certainly be there that we could be dealing with some spin-up tornadoes, in addition to more widespread instances of damaging winds and hail, along with the threat for some flash flooding. While we're here, and apparently I'm choking on saliva, let's take a look at the high-resolution rapid refresh model for this evening. This will give us a timeline on what we can expect for the remainder of tonight as the squall line and Crashy the cold front keep on flying to the south. Now, this is what the model thinks the radar looks like here at about 6 o'clock. I just wanted to see that in terms of the accuracy of how it's doing right now. It's not doing too bad. So as we get to 8 o'clock, you can see the model thinks storm's going to extend from near Laredo, southeast to San Antonio, to near Pleasanton, to Kennedy, to Nixon, to LaGrange, to Brenham, Huntsville. And then we could still have a few storms ongoing across portions of North Texas and Northeast Texas as that activity continues to develop, bringing scattered storms with some hail. Here is 10 o'clock, line of storms roughly from near Zapata up to Beeville, Victoria, Mathis, El Campo, up Highway 59 into the Houston Metro. And then still seeing scattered activity across eastern northeast Texas. This activity up in eastern north Texas is going to be moving like that, with additional activity possibly developing, while the line itself, further to the south, moves southeast towards the coast. This model indicates it may accelerate a bit. Fast forwarding, here's midnight. Storms starting to move off the coast. We could still have some storms producing hail and strong winds along the middle Texas coast, Corpus Christi, all the way down into the Rio Grande Plains and the Rio Grande Valley. Here's 1 a.m. Pretty nasty looking storm around McAllen. That could have hail damaging winds if this model's correct. And then by 2 a.m. moving into Brownsville, a bit of a bow echo appearance there. So that could result in the threat for damaging winds, some hail, heavy rainfall in the Rio Grande Plains and the Rio Grande Valley. Across northeast Texas, you can see we still got storms moving northeast, although the threat for severe weather will be lower. We'll go ahead and load a loop. This is going to go from 7 o'clock through... honestly, I'll just do 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'll even put cloud cover on here so you can see when the clouds are going to probably clear out. And again, I'm just going to load this and let it play a couple frames. As that continues, again, storms will continue moving southeast, mostly. And then you can see by early tomorrow morning, we're going to start clearing out pretty quick. Clouds gone by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning west of I-35, make it for a pretty nice Saturday. And then last rain and the cloud cover will clear out by mid-afternoon across the piney woods of East Texas, Southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle, Northeast Texas, the Arklatex, etc. So most of tomorrow is actually going to be pretty nice, and Sunday's looking even better as storms get on out of here and we can finally enjoy several days of less active weather. I've been told not to say the Q word, so I'm not going to say Q weather. It's quiet, by the way, but if I say that again, people are going to start throwing apples at me. And now we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Bexar County. This includes the city of San Antonio, a severe storm located near Jalitos, or 13 miles south of Bernie, moving southeast at 35. Golf ball size hail possible, damaging straight line winds. And again, this is going to move across the entire San Antonio metro over the next hour. Lots of reports coming from spotters around College Station of down trees, down power lines, and wind damage. So it sounds like this thunderstorm around College Station did indeed have quite a bit of wind with it. And again, some of these storms, especially where we see bowing, occur will have damaging winds with them. For example, this section around Lexington, we're seeing another surge of strong straight line winds over 70 miles an hour from Lexington to just northwest of Giddings. That section of the squall line should be moving southeast at probably, I'm going to say, 30 to 40 miles an hour. And then as we go back out to the state view, again, you can see we've got storms all the way from eastern North Texas extending back southwest to the Edwards Plateau. Most storms, again, moving southeast at about 40 miles an hour, while some of these other storms in northeast Texas moving more to the northeast at about 30 to 40. So again, we're going to stay here. We're going to be here through the evening, keeping an eye on things. The strongest storms capable of producing 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, mostly nickel to ping pong ball size hail, though a few stronger storms, especially across central Texas into the Edwards Plateau, that exhibit more supercellular storm structure, could produce golf ball to tennis ball size hail. And while the overall threat for tornadoes is very low for the remainder of the evening, we can't rule out a few spin-up tornadoes. So the best way to keep an eye on the sky is going to be with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. We've got neighborhood forecasts, interactive weather radar, live video, etc. And again, you can get the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app in the Google Play, Apple App stores, or you can also just go to our website, texasstormchasers.com. We've got resources there as well. All right, that tornado warning for portions of Brazos and Grimes counties is going to expire here in about a minute. They're not going to issue a new one, it looks like. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and head off air. We'll be keeping an eye on things. And as always, if we have any new additional tornado warnings or big-time severe weather issues, we'll come back with live severe weather coverage. Otherwise, you can keep an eye on the sky with the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app and the potential for... Wait, what did I say? Yeah, Texas Storm Chasers mobile app, and you can keep an eye on our website, our social media channels, etc. I'm going to go find something to snack on before I turn completely incapable of completing sentences. Otherwise, y'all have a good evening. We'll be here. We'll be back if necessary. Thanks for tuning in. Mute.